Hey everyone, welcome back for a brand new video about our favorite show where karate can destroy families or build them up, Cobra Kai. Warning, beyond this point there are spoilers for people who are not up to date in the Cobra Kai TV series as well as the Karate Kid film franchise. In this video we're going to give you a Rampage rundown of 8 possible Miyagi-verse returns for Cobra Kai Season 6. Season 5 was great, people, but we hope they can follow it up with something that packs an even more powerful punch, but since we're gonna have to wait for months to hear anything substantial about Season 6, let's just dive right into who might be returning. Number 1. Freddy Fernandez. Freddy appeared in the original Karate Kid movie and was Daniel's first friend when he arrived in the valley. After a shaky start where he accidentally attacks Freddy, LaRusso asks him how to get to his apartment, and along with directions, he gets an invite to the beach to hang out with Fernandez and his friends. In a way, maybe Freddy was the creator of this whole 30-year-long karate war. If it wasn't for him, maybe LaRusso would have only known Mr. Miyagi as a maintenance man and Johnny Lawrence as the 3-time All-Valley champion. Fast forward to Cobra Kai Season 2, the training session in the meat locker was at a butcher shop called Fernandez Meat Co. We think Freddy got into the meat business and stayed in contact with Daniel over the years and allowed LaRusso to use his business to practice. We don't think Freddy could have a big role in Season 6, but we still think it would be a cool short return like Jessica Andrews in Season 5. Number 2 and number 3, Snake and Dennis. Snake and Dennis are basically henchmen for Mike Barnes in the Karate Kid 3, hired by Terry Silver. Snake is definitely more in the spotlight than Dennis in the movie due to Dennis only having 2 lines and being quiet even though he is in a fair amount of scenes. Snake sort of helps Mike orchestrate different ways to terrorize LaRusso into getting him to fight in the tournament. On top of that, after getting Daniel to sign the contract when his life was on the line, Snake also took the bonsai tree Daniel just retrieved just for the fun of it. Although Snake isn't too interesting of a character, a lot of fans have speculated over the years that Snake could possibly be Silver's son based on the way Terry talks to him. There are also theories that Dennis ends up being Silver's son, but most people think Dennis is just Snake's friend or some red shirt Silver hired to help do certain tasks. We think that if Snake and or Dennis are really Terry Silver's offspring, that they could definitely make a return in Season 6 trying to get their father out of prison. Number 4. Ned Randall. Ned is basically the Johnny Lawrence of the next Karate Kid movie, the main bully antagonizing the main character, Julie Pierce. It didn't all start out with bullying though. Ned had a crush on Julie, and after repeatedly getting shot down, he started trying to give her a problem at any chance he got. He clearly still had feelings deep down because he was so infuriated seeing Julie kiss Eric in a car that he smashed the windows and challenged Eric to a fight. Inevitably, Eric gets beat up, but Julie eventually fights Ned herself at the end of the film and wins. After this loss, Ned's teacher Colonel Dugan tries to get his other students to fight her, but they refuse. Ned then joins them and realizes this has all gone too far and leaves after Mr. Miyagi gives Colonel Dugan a beatdown. The actor for Ned, Michael Cavalieri, has stated he would not be opposed to reprising his role in Cobra Kai, and we think he could be written in to join forces with Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence to help Miyagi-Fang defeat Kreese and possibly the next character on our list. Number 5. Colonel Paul Dugan. Dugan is the main antagonist in the next Karate Kid movie and was the instructor of the Alpha Elite security group that included Ned and his buddies. Dugan was essentially a Kreese knockoff in this movie and ended up losing his students after getting bested in a fight with Mr. Miyagi, but Colonel Dugan actually does have more in common with Kreese than you would think. Paul Dugan was a colonel for the US Army, which even outranks Kreese, who was a captain, and it is likely Dugan served during the Vietnam War, the same as Kreese and Silver. We believe that Paul actually knew them as well as George Turner during the war. Now that Terry's in jail and Kreese needs a new partner to try and put Cobra Kai back together, we think Kreese could call Dugan to come in and help him with leadership in Cobra Kai. What do you think? Do you think that Kreese could know the Colonel? Number 6. Eric McGowan. McGowan was Julie Pierce's love interest in the next Karate Kid, but was also a part of the Alpha Elite group with Ned Randall. Although Eric was a part of the group, he only did it for a recommendation at the Air Force Academy and would show more restraint during training. Eric also refused to do certain things Dugan ordered, causing the military-minded maniac to slowly develop a grudge, which eventually led the crazy colonel to try and have Ned and the rest of the group murder Eric. Even back then, the Miyagi-verse was a dangerous place, people. Don't get it twisted. Eric doesn't get murdered though and ends the movie in a relationship with Julie. We think McGowan and the next Karate Kid could still be together and that he would return along with... Number 7. Julie Pierce. Julie Pierce is the last main character of a movie in the Miyagi-verse to not appear in Cobra Kai, but we think Season 6 could finally be the time. Julie lost her parents when she was very young and moved in with her grandparents. After becoming very close with her grandpa, he also passed away too. In a subconscious way, we think the reason that she has such a bad relationship with her grandma and fights with her a lot is because she's afraid to get as close as she was with the family she's lost, and she doesn't want to go through that hurt again. When Mr. Miyagi comes to town for a military reunion, he catches up with his late war buddy's wife, Louisa Pierce, and that's how he meets Julie. He finds out she's having trouble in school and offers to stay with her and have Louisa tend to his house in LA. Surprisingly, Mrs. Pierce accepts and goes to California. After a period of time of not giving Mr. Miyagi a care in the world, Julie gets arrested for breaking into the school to feed Angel, the Miyagi-verse's second greatest hawk. Or greatest, who knows, and gets suspended for 2 weeks from school. During the suspension, Mr. Miyagi takes her to a Buddhist monastery to teach her karate and to help her handle her emotions better. After this, Pierce and Miyagi get close, and he even teaches her how to dance and gets her a dress before prom. How sweet. Prom then eventually leads to a kiss with Eric, and then the fight on the dock where Julie gives Ned a beatdown. After the events of that movie, the writers of Cobra Kai have mentioned Julie stayed in touch with Miyagi and confirmed Pierce did meet Daniel LaRusso, although it likely could have been at Mr. Miyagi's funeral. Daniel even makes a reference to Julie during season 2 when he tells Robbie it's been a long time since this dojo's had more than one student. We think Daniel could call in Julie Pierce this season to squash Cobra Kai once and for all. Who knows, maybe her and McGowan even had some kids who could come along into the show too. The creators of Cobra Kai also talked about how they would love to have Hilary Swank back to reprise her role, so it seems like the ball is in her court. The last one on our list is arguably the most Cobra Kai of all, Dutch. Dutch was one of the original Cobra Kai students terrorizing Daniel LaRusso in The Karate Kid, and you could argue was the most cruel out of his crew. Dutch, however, hasn't returned like all the other former Cobras from Johnny's gang have. The reason why is the actor Chad McQueen hasn't acted in a very long time and has wanted to focus on his company, McQueen Racing. Martin Kove and William Zabka have tried to convince him to be a part of the show, but his obligations to his company have prevented it from working out, so the Cobra Kai writers have written him to be in jail currently in the show, but we think if McQueen sees a fat Netflix check with his name on it, he might actually choose to come back next season, and we might see Dutch finally released from prison. A lot of fans speculate that Dutch could be Tori's father, and we think that it's not impossible as crazy coincidences happen in the Miyagi-verse all the time. If Dutch does return, he could have a really big role in season 6. He could be an old familiar face for Kreese to turn to that holds a similar no-mercy attitude. On top of that, both guys could share their jailhouse brutality stories. Who wouldn't love that scene? What do you think? Who could return next season? Dutch? Julie? Dugan? One thing we definitely don't have to speculate about is that if Miguel dies, we riot. Thanks so much for watching our videos, everyone. As always, run the lookout for any new promo videos or insider info to help prove or disprove all the rumors out there about our favorite show where a fish can take out trash, Cobra Kai. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Binge Rampage. Click the notifications bell for our channel so you can see our next video as soon as it comes out, and don't forget to subscribe.
Sorry, I almost had him.
Don't feel bad. You got enough points to keep us in the running. You did good, Mike.
Thanks, Sensei. Oh, but, actually, it's Mitch.
You ruined it, Penis Breath.